Hi, my name is Yesenia Garcia. So yeah, growing up in South Sac, I grew up around a lot of poverty, a lot of trauma, and a lot of scarcity thinking. But I'm so blessed to have the mother that I did. May God rest her soul. She made a really important decision for my siblings and I to actually send us to public schools outside of the hood and in these really rich, predominantly white areas. And it was in this environment that I really learned about abundance, that I saw abundance, but that I also learned about the inequality. And the inequality specifically around public education for Black and brown youth. So while in these environments, I was also picked up the conditioning that school and college is the only way to succeed, and I took that and ran with it. So I was super hard on myself and took school very seriously. I can remember being in middle school and crying because I got a B on my science test, and I just thought I wasn't going to be able to get into college, I wasn't going to be able to help my family, and my life was just over. But through all of that, I finally did get into college, and my family was so proud of me, and I was the first in my family to actually go and leave Sacramento. And while I was in college, I took the super normalized route and started the grind. So I had 2 part-time jobs, I was in class full-time, and I was also doing extracurriculars and volunteering and all that stuff. And it wasn't until the pandemic hit that I lost my job, and I also realized that I had no monetizable skills besides waitressing and dog walking. But of course, during the pandemic, nobody was gonna have me serve at a table, nor would they want me to walk their dog. So I was left super unemployable, and I had really no skills to be able to create income for myself. So I applied for unemployment, and I made the biggest decision that I have ever made in my life. And I decided to not only leave San Francisco, which was super expensive, but I decided to actually leave America. And I left to Mexico, and that's when I decided that I was going to do whatever I had to do to learn how to make money online. So I used whatever I had in my savings, I borrowed some money from my boyfriend at the time, and I used my unemployment checks to invest about $4,000 into an online course to learn how to sell products on Amazon. And this was super risky decision of mine because I really didn't know that I would have any return from this, but I was desperate, I was willing to do whatever it took. So I took that course and started a little pet brand. Didn't do well at all. As soon as I started learning about how important it is for you to really be passionate about the people that you serve and to solve a problem for the people that you serve. So once I heard that, I scrapped everything and started over. And that's when I actually found a really successful product that was selling super well on Amazon, and it was actually empty lip gloss tubes. I was really confused as to why these empty lip gloss tubes would be selling so well until I found out that there was a huge online community, predominantly of Black and brown women, creating their own beauty brands and using the empty lip gloss tubes to make their own lip gloss. When I found this community, I was super inspired, and I was absolutely sure that I wanted to serve this community and solve their problems. So I went into this, and I started my first business, Girlpreneur Essentials. And with Girlpreneur Essentials, I first started it selling physical products like lip gloss tubes. I thought I would eventually sell boxes and maybe skincare, jars for skincare products. And that was until I actually started getting people to ask me how I'm growing on social media so fast, because I grew to 10,000 followers in a little less than 5 months. So everyone was asking me, how are you doing this? What are you doing? And that's when I learned about the beauty of digital products and how you can actually monetize your intellectual property or monetize your gifts and sell them to the world. So that's when I started creating ebooks, classes, and courses to be able to serve these beauty entrepreneurs and help them scale their own businesses. And this took off. It went super well. I remember about 6 months into my business, I hit my first 5-figure month, and I felt like I was on top of the world. I was so happy. I was able to, send my mom money whenever she needed it, and I was really building towards this goal of being able to be financially free and eventually buy my mom a house and retire my mom. So I was super excited to do this. Every day I would wake up and I would go after this goal. And because I was also working online and had this online business, I was able to travel wherever I wanted. So first I started in Mexico, then I went to the Dominican Republic, then I went to Puerto Rico, and then I went back to Mexico City. And around the time that I was in Mexico City, I was, making multiple six figures a year, really living that dream digital nomad life. And then I got the news that I needed to come home immediately back to Sacramento. Something was going very wrong and I needed to come home. And once I come home, I actually learned that my mom had very suddenly passed away, and this turned my entire world upside down. It felt like everything that I was doing and everything that I was building towards was no longer had any kind of meaning or purpose. So I found myself honestly just in a state of shock. And after about 2 months of being with my family, I moved back out of the country and I tried to go back to my normal life. So I moved back to Mexico City, and then I moved to Puerto Rico, and then I moved to Portugal, and then I moved to France, and then I moved back to the US, and I came to Florida in an effort to be a little closer to my family. But through all of this traveling, I really learned that grief, I just couldn't do it alone. I needed to be around my friends and family, and I really also learned that I no longer had motivation or really a sense of purpose in the business that I was building. So I made the radical decision to move back to Sacramento and actually stop working. So I was blessed enough to be able to do that, but I took about 7 months off of work and I just let God do what God needed to do. I went to the park every day. I actually got a new dog, and I really started my healing journey and my grief journey, and really I really started the process of healing and inner child work. So every day I would go to the park, I would journal, I would meditate, and I would sit with my younger self and, talk to her and tell her things that she needed to hear. And through this process, I was able to learn how to actually attract things into my life and into my reality rather than chase and constantly be in a state of scarcity and lack. I actually learned how to operate from a place of abundance and a place of service and a place of, everything's okay. So from this place of fun and joy and life, I started to just have fun business meetings with my friends around me who I found had lots of talents and gifts. And once I was in these meetings, I learned, oh wow, okay, I can actually help other people create businesses, monetizing their gifts and pretty much actualizing their purpose here on earth and how they can actually serve their communities. So throughout all this time, I really learned that the highest way that we can serve God and the highest way that we can serve our communities is to actually be doing the things that we're meant to be doing and being paid for that. So now I'm in this process of creating a business consulting agency where I actually help people with really talented gifts turn their gifts into either digital products or some kind of service that they can offer online. And I'm honestly in the very beginning stages of this, but I know that this is going to be a life-changing thing for not only myself, but all of the people that I'm working with. So that's part of what I'm doing now from a place of gratitude, from a place of abundance. But I'm also working with an incredible business partner that God has blessed me with to do work in communities and to actually mentor youth and specifically mentor Black and brown girls and be an example for them that you don't have to go to the path that society is on. You don't have to live the life that your parents might have lived or your grandparents might have lived, but you can actually create an entire reality that you thoroughly enjoy and do it in a way that you are serving your community and therefore serving the world.